Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to show you how to solve a common problem that people new to Niagara face, and it's about the particle disappearing from the screen. We'll also see some other interesting stuff that could be useful to newcomers. Here I have a Niagara system with just a standard hanging particulates emitter inside it and playing normally. But if I start turning my camera on the side, at one point all the particles disappear. So let's see how we can fix this and the reason why this happens. Here's my system, and in the properties of the sim target is set to CPU sim and the bounce mode is set to fixed. When you create a new emitter, the bounce mode is set to dynamic and you won't experience the problem we saw before. In fact, setting the bounce to dynamic, you can see that even if I turn my camera all the way around, the particles don't disappear. So you would be tempted to just leave them on dynamic, but it's not a good idea, and we'll see why in a moment. For now, let's set the bounce to fixed and see how it works. In this fixed mode, you can set the dimension of a bounding box, and you can actually show it in the preview by clicking on bounds. Here comes the confusing part. The box you see is not the spawning box, it's the visualization box. In fact, you see particles appearing also outside of it. So the red box doesn't indicate the shape location, and the shape location actually has different bounds than the visualization bounds. Since the fixed bounds values are relative to the visualization box, it means that when the red box in the preview goes outside the camera view, the particles will not be spawned and rendered anymore. And this not only happens in the level, but also in the preview. So if I move my camera enough to make the visualization box not visible, all the particles will disappear, like it's happening now. In order to keep everything under control and understand better how bounds behave, we are going to set both the visualization and the spawning bounds the same. Before doing that, let's open the Niagara Debugger. You can find it under Tools, Debug, Niagara Debugger. If you don't see the bounds in your level, be sure to have both these checkboxes enabled and also the System Show Bounds checkbox. If you have fast moving particles, remember that with the debugger you can also pause the particle spawn and movement. Now, what we see here is the visualization bounding box. So it's the one that has to be in the view to render the particles. As before, if I turn my camera enough to make it out of the view, the particles will disappear. We see just half of it in the level because it's buried in the ground. We can change that by setting the min z-axis in the bounds to 0. And now we see the full box in the level starting from the ground. The same goes with other axes. Here I have minus 100 for both the min and max x, so the side of the box will extend from 100 units on the left and 100 units on the right of its middle point. If I set the min x on 0, it will start from the actual middle point here and go 100 units on the left, since the positive x is on the left side in this preview. Same thing goes for the y, of course, so putting 0 on the min y, it will start from the actual middle point and extend from 100 units in the positive direction of the y-axis. I want to lower the z a bit, so I'm going to set its max to 100. Let's make the spawn area the same size of the visualization area. Let's go on the shape location, and we have these values now, so let's set them to 200, 200, and 100. Both bounding boxes have the same dimensions now, but you can see that the particles are still spawning outside of the red box. Let's go back to the shape location and look at this box midpoint values. And this is the confusing part number 2, because here we have all three axes with a minimum values of 0 and a maximum of 1. I'm gonna switch the view to the right one, so we have the x as the horizontal axis, and we expect to see particles spawning inside this outline, because our spawning box is the same as the visualization box. But the problem is that they are not aligned. And that happens because the midpoint is constantly changing. But if we set the min and the max to 0.5, the particles will spawn around a fixed midpoint that is in the middle of the x-axis. Same things applies to the y. To see it, let's go on the front view, and they are outside, but if we change the values to 0.5, they will spawn inside the red box. For what concerns the z-axis, if we put 0.5, it won't work. In fact, we can see that the particles spawn also in a lower position of what we want. But why is that? If we go back to the fixed bounce value of the meter, we'll see that the z-axis has a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 100, meaning that its extremes are not centered around 0. Instead, the other axes go in a symmetrical way around 0, from minus 100 to plus 100. So we have two ways to fix this. We can set the min z to minus 50 and the max to 50, actually centering the z around 0. And you can see that now the spawning and visualization bounds are overlapping perfectly. The other way is to leave the bounds as they were, so min 0 and max 100, but in the midpoint values, we are going to set both values to 0. So now the bounds are overlapping again. So now in the scene, the Niagara Debugger is still showing the visualization bounds, but since we made it the same dimension as the spawning bounds, we can actually see them both. Of course, every case is different, so having the boxes in the same dimensions was only to show you a way to debug the spawning bounds. Once your spawning bounds are okay, and you need to make the visualization bounds bigger, you can always do it, and the system will act the same. Let's say we want to set the visualization bounds from plus minus 100 to plus minus 200. We see that the system works as before and keeps spawning particles in the box we defined in the shape location. The particles you see outside the box are there because there is a wind force in the emitter, so they were born inside the shape location and moved away after. In a case like this, the visualization bounds could overlap the walls of a room, meaning that if the camera stays in the room, it will always see the particles, no matter which angle it's looking at. You could also do the opposite, of course, meaning that the spawning bounds could be bigger than the visualization bounds, and actually that was the initial situation we saw at the beginning of the video. So all of this applies to both CPU sim, that could be fixed or dynamic, and GPU sim that should always be fixed. Otherwise, the engine will give you a warning about the bounds calculations. Before ending this video, let's talk a bit about the dynamic bounds. One could be tempted to make them just very big to be sure that the particles are visible, or just for debugging. But I suggest you to always double check all of your meters in the scene and set them to fixed bounds and with the appropriate dimensions. That's for optimization's sake, of course, but also because unwanted behaviors could happen. For instance, if your bounds extends too much, your camera in a room could see particles spawning from outside. That's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to take your support to the next level, be sure to check out my Patreon page in the video description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep on creating, and cheers!